What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It is your boy D Dyson. Now, I've been wanting to do this review for about a week now, and throughout the duration of the week, I watched this documentary at least 5 or 6 times because every time I watch it, I pick up something new. I just wanted to watch this for everything that it's meant for. And for me personally, this has been one of the most inspirational documentaries I have watched this year or in a while. The last one was probably the Defiant Ones with Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine. But the story of Clarence Avant is something of a myth. It's like a legend. And you can tell by watching this guy is a legend among celebrities. He is the celebrity's celebrity. And just seeing him operate from the late 50s all the way to 2019 has just been like awe-inspiring to me, because for the last 3 decades, I have not heard this man's name uttered once. 30 years old, 80s baby. And I have not heard this man's name mentioned in the era of I grew up on, the era that I started understanding music, movies, and television, to 2000s, where I was really into TV and music, into 2010s, which is up till now. I've never heard of this man's name. That is a testament to how strong and willful and powerful this man is behind the scenes. Like I said in my reaction, and I'm gonna put the link down below, that you had 2 presidents talk about him. Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, they talked about him. Like, that lets you know that this guy's political and just the prowess of his power is that strong. Like, he started from being a booking agent for Joseph G. Glaser, which was, they play it up as a myth, like, it's passe. But I can tell if you really want to go into that story, they'll dig in deep, knowing that this talent representative or agency, or he was like a talent manager slash agent slash everything of Joseph G. Glaser, was under Al Capone. He was a connected guy. He was a mafioso. So he was like, well, to me, that symbolizes how, like, if you guys ever watched Casino, how Robert De Niro's character, Sam, was a casino manager. He ran a casino, but he was a connected guy running a casino. So kind of like the same aspect. And then you just have Clarence, who was just, a club manager, assistant manager, just going off with the talent that was there, which was a jazz singer, a legendary jazz singer. And he saw that and was like, I'm going to take you under my wing, because, something in Joseph Glaser was like, you should be a representative of all the talent. And that was a job that he ended up with. He didn't want it, but he, Glaser saw something in him like, dude, you just want to do right. And back in those times, it's rare to even find anyone, let alone color, of someone who just want to be right. It's just like, I want to make sure that they have the best benefit. And you can see that how that stretched, through decades of he just wanted to do the right thing. And that's so rare in that industry. Even with Diddy saying, like, in that industry of entertainment, everyone gets messed over. Clarence Avant was one of those guys that saw to it that you didn't get messed over. And that's something that I really, really like about this documentary, is that this guy was like a mythical, mysterious figure behind the scenes. And how this guy shaped the culture that I grew up in without even knowing. Like, this dude he was the puppet tier the puppet master to the puppets. Like, he just was like, yeah, I know Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam. They're going to work with Janet. You got one of the biggest records of Janet's career. Or Benny Medina, who was a pet assistant for Berry Gordy, became an assistant. Then you call Benny Medina. Benny Medina hooks up with Quincy Jones, which is one of Clarence's best friends, and they make Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, it just the olive branch that extended out, you know. And I was just like, oh my God, how he's piecing it all together. Founded Bill Withers. When nobody else took a chance on Bill Withers, he made Bill Withers a staple and a legend with the songs that he sang. So I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh. Even with Sherelle, when I saw Sherelle, I was like, man, who is this? And then it goes on, it was like, yeah, he finds Alexander O'Neal, and then they hook up with Sherelle, and then they make the song Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm like, dude, damn. Then you hear Soul Train with Don Cornelius was like, yeah, he had to go to bat for me when Dick Clark was about to shut down Soul Train. And he was like, he went up there and was like, man, you ain't finna do this, like, and saved Don Cornelius's career. Then take it even further, where he established Jim Brown. I didn't know how Jim Brown quit football and got into acting. Like, Jim Brown was back then how Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, how they just, on top of their game, stopped. Like, man, I'm done with this, retired from football, and got him into acting. Like, all because Glacier was like, you know, hey, why don't you send this composer out to Hollywood so he can be a composer for the movies? He'll be great for movies. He like, what the fuck I'm gonna do with this guy? And he like, the same shit that you do for a Negro. Like, get your ass out there in Hollywood and get him in the door. And finding out that, I think his name is Lilo Alalo, that he became one of Hollywood's biggest composers for over 100 movies. He even did Enter the Dragon, and he copyrighted Enter the Dragon and copyrighted Mission Impossible. He did the theme for Mission Impossible. That, to me, let me know that got Clarence in the door in Hollywood. So now you have a huge connection with the all of entertainment around the world, like, because that hub of Hollywood. Once you got this one composer in the door, and I'm pretty sure executives is like, Lalo was like, no, he's my manager. You probably be thinking that, you know, just like that lady had said, they probably thought he was his valet. And I'm just like, that's crazy at that time for this black guy to be in Hollywood at that time. And it was like, he just goes into the executive boards and just like, man, you gonna do this, you gonna do that, and just come in there and just like, man. And then you have, he operated because he had Glacier's name behind him, and everyone seems to know who Glacier was, knowing that he was connected. So that's what got him in the door. Like, man, yeah, that's Glacier's pupil. So everyone respected that. And the fact that he was black, they let him in the door. And I'm like, man, that's all but all inspiring to me. You know, that's something that in this world of social media and everyone attentions, the new monies, the new currency, this guy did not want the attention. A complete 180 from what society is now. So this documentary couldn't have came at a better time, because how everyone craves attention, he shied away from it, and that's how his power grew more and more. Like, I love to hear stories about that. Like, that just made me really be like, man, I don't need to be on social media like that. Just work on yourself. And your actions and your words and what you do as a legacy will speak for itself. This guy is like in his 80s. Everyone knows Quincy Jones. Everyone knows Quincy Jones. They look at Quincy as the man. But Clarence Avant was in the same time period as him, running the business side of it. And you're just now talking about him. Like, and through the duration of this whole documentary, he was only on public 3 times through this whole documentary. One was on an episode of Soul Train when Don Cornelius brought him out, like probably like in the late 70s, early 80s, he brought him out, you know, and he was like, I'm nervous. He was like, Don Cornelius, like, you being nervous, brought him out. Second time was 2013 or 2003 BET Humanitarian Awards. Like, he got the humanitarian award at the BET Awards. And then the third time he was doing the Walk of Fame. This dude's not on TV. But yet he makes those deals and make those impossible deals that he influences everybody. It ain't just black culture, it's pop culture, period. Like, and how these record labels and these executives moved into showing black culture on TV and in music. Like, you walk into the heads of MCA, he walked into the heads of Coca-Cola with Hank Aaron. When Hank Aaron was getting on that all that hate mail for breaking Babe Ruth's record, and he don't even have an endorsement deal. He walks in and was like, man, now Hank Aaron is a proud sponsor, by Coca-Cola. So I'm just like, man, this dude, power is incredible. And then he was like, he endorsed Bill Clinton. And I'm just like, and even when Bill Clinton was folding, Bill Clinton got choked up and was like, man, one of my greatest stories with Clarence was when all that scandal and all that stuff was happening, Clarence was the one that told him, like, hey, you got to move this way. Move like this, and they're not going to kick you out. Keep working through the midst of all that. And even when I watched the documentary, CNN's The 90s, you saw Bill Clinton working. So that was an effect of Clarence telling him, keep working while this stuff is happening. And they're not going to kick you out. And they didn't impeach Bill Clinton. Because that was Clarence. Avant was like, man, you better not stop doing what you're doing. Because I know you're about to give up. Don't let them see you do that shit in public. I was like, dude, your influence is a must. I love how Jamie Foxx was, has certain, I'm like, I love Jamie Foxx, period, because he was just like, he got Bill Withers, he talked about Babyface. I was like, bruh, because some of those old jams that resonates with me to this day, and I'm sure it resonates with a lot of you, is that this dude made timeless classics. Like, he made classics, the Lean on Me's, the Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone, like, and I'm just like, dude, you can just imagine his span. I'm seeing MCA, with the MCA executives, people don't even realize that was where Bobby Brown got signed as a solo artist. And Bobby Brown bought MCA Records up, like, because Bobby Brown went like 6 times platinum in the 80s when he dropped Bobby Brown. Like, I'm just like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, this, and you seen Bobby Brown at his house, Whitney, and then after Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis with Janet Jackson, everybody started hitting up Clarence. From Denzel to Eddie Murphy to, all the black label execs, the copyright execs, like Sony, everyone just started hitting up Clarence like, man, I need your advice. And his influence grew. One of the funniest stories that I seen on here was when the civil rights activists had called him for, they wanted Smokey Robinson to do a tribute to Smokey. And he just called you just like, man, what you want, man? He said, man, what's your group? He was like, I'm not a group, I'm civil rights activist. Man, he hung up, called back, and was like, man, yeah, I don't want to do no civil rights, man. I'm sick of them niggas. I was just like, bro, I was cracking up laughing. Because here's a guy who's lived through it all. Was like, bro, I can't deal with this shit. I'm trying to make money, dude. Like, I'm trying to make a deal. What you trying to do? And as he explained to him what he was trying to do, he was like, oh, yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Like, it was just getting through to Clarence, for him to get the ball rolling. And then you just seen how so many lives were impacted by Clarence Avant. And that's something I aspire to this day. It is very awe-inspiring. I can't say that enough. I've watched it about 5 or 6 times. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with a review of Black Godfather, but it was just in my heart and my mind after I saw this. I was so inspired that I'm just like, man, that made me want to achieve a lot more in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that made me want to do what I do as far as YouTube, as far as what I'm, whatever you're doing. Just let that be an inspiration to you to be like, you can do it. Because this guy broke down barriers, broke down walls to push forward black culture. And 2019, black culture is pop culture. And you got to be crazy to not agree with that. And it's all at the hands of Clarence Avant. So even if you don't even watch this video, nobody even close to him, you watch this video, thank you, Clarence Avant, for shaping my childhood and shaping us, pushing us to the forefront. Thank you. And if you guys enjoyed my reaction, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel. It's only getting bigger, it's only growing. Thank you for my new subscribers. Hit that like button if you like this video, and post a comment down below. Let's talk about it, What is your favorite Clarence Avant, the Black Godfather moment on this documentary? What's your favorite part of it? Like, mine was when he was talking to the civil rights activists. That was bar none one of the funniest things. And Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is always witty with his comedy. Like, that was my favorite 2 parts. So post comment down below. And like the video again. It's your boy, D. Dyson. Peace.